What is going on, YouTube? What is going on, Raber family? So I am going to wait until a few people come in here. But in the meantime, hopefully everyone is having an awesome day. Doot, doot. What's going on there? What's going on, Amzy? You got enough toilet paper? Yep, I got plenty of it. People are crazy. Very crazy. I just don't understand what their motive is or like what drives them to do this crap. I don't know. Let me get this shared to my Facebook page. What's going on, Tammy? Now, as soon as I can get the one person in here, I will say what I have to say. There we go. We got Dutchman in the house.
Oh, what's going on, buddy?
Not too much. How you doing?
Hanging in there,
Hanging in
getting
there.
bored.
What's going on, Jennifer? Cut the plastic. Cut the plastic. I have something to say. Why don't you jump right on up here? As some of you know, my mother-in-law is in the hospital. So we had a conversation with the hospital, and yeah. Yeah, that's what we're going to be talking about. No smoking on camera.
What?
No smoking on camera. YouTube will strike it in a heartbeat.
I thought this is separate from YouTube.
No, this is streaming to YouTube.
Oh.
So anyhow, um, as some of you know, my mother-in-law is in the hospital, and for the last few days we could not get in touch with anybody, and I mean nobody, as far as to see what was going on. The hospital was not responding. The hospital was not answering phone calls. They wouldn't give us any information. They did not tell us that they had moved her to the ICU. They would not keep us updated. Well, finally, Carmela decided to go to the hospital, and they told her that she had to leave or they're going to escort her off. They wouldn't give her any information other than saying, oh, she's okay, she's okay. So finally, yesterday, towards last night, we got in touch with the hospital and we had a long conversation with the one nurse. And over the last few days, some of the people are, I shouldn't say the last few days, but like 3-4 days ago, people were telling us, people from the hospital were saying, oh yeah, she got tested for the coronavirus and came back negative. And then some of the other nurses were saying, no, she never got tested, blah, blah, and different family members were being told different things. So last night, or late yesterday afternoon, we got in touch with the hospital and we asked that nurse, so did you guys test her for the virus?
That was me. Sorry.
And guess what that nurse had to say? That nurse actually laughed and said, don't let the media fool you. We have no tests here. They said we have absolutely zero tests. So if they have no tests, then why is the local news, local media saying that people are being tested in the hospital, in that exact hospital, when one of the nurses straight up said there are no tests. There haven't been any tests for that hospital.
It's when you got to get them on camera saying that stuff.
Teresa, exactly. And the thing is they keep saying on the news, oh, there's tests, there's tests, there's tests, but and they keep saying, if you need to get tested, just ask someone, they'll give it to you. That's all bullshit. This is the one up on Mill Plain. And it's supposed to be the big one because it's like the trauma center also. So they never tested her. But here's the thing. At that hospital, we were also told, okay, by somebody who works in the hospital, that some of the nurses are walking out because there are people throughout the hospital that actually supposedly have the coronavirus mixed in with everyone else. Nurses are walking out. Nurses don't want to work anymore. They're short on nurses now, which is understandable. Mama Bear said there's no cure. I've been thinking that too.
They've got the vaccines in testing phase.
Jennifer said so. All these people on the news say they were. Yeah, no. That's exactly, Teresa. Is
There's
this?
There's a vaccine in testing right now in Washington.
Yeah, I wish it was closer. I'd volunteer. I could use some extra money.
Do you believe that?
Do I believe it?
No, Brian.
Oh.
Saw it on the news yesterday.
On the news, they also said that the hospitals are testing, but yet somebody from the hospital said there are no tests.
Well, you got to kind of take some of that with a grain of salt. I had a lady there on my Facebook stream from a gas station sit there trying to argue that because of all these people that have the coronavirus, do you know any of them? Do you know anyone that knows any of them? Well, you're talking about you know few thousand or something in the U.S. I don't know what the numbers are out of a population of 350 million. And you really think you're gonna know one of them?
John Smith said, "I'm not getting vaccinations either. Trust me, neither am I."
I'll be right back. Hold on.
All right, Teresa, have fun at work.
Come in. Just come in, guys.
Dutchman, mute your daggone.
One.
Mute your daggone mic.
Yes, one.
I'm sick as a fake. Back. FEMA camps martial law on viruses. Exactly, Dylan. Oh, trust me, Vet Tech. I'm not one of those who falls for all this. The $1,000, yeah, trust me, that I don't see that happening. You would get vaccinated in a heartbeat if they had one. You would, yeah. Some people would, some people wouldn't. I don't disagree with either way. I mean, it's whatever each person wants to do. Oh, trust me, they shut up Alex Jones, or they tried to. They're trying to. They don't want him to put his truth out there. They tried to sue him. Well, they did sue him, I guess. Just a bunch of crap.
I do have a bit of a question about the whole the $1,000 that they're going to be putting out. Now,
What is
first
that?
off, who all was that to? Like, who's supposed to be receiving that?
I'm not even sure.
Because if you stop for a second, you figure there's over 350 million people in the U.S.
Hmm.
Everyone's supposed to get $1,000. I'm sure it's not every single person. It's probably certain people. But just going off a base number here, 350 million. Everyone receiving $1,000. You're talking, you know, that's what, $350 billion.
Okay.
It's a whole lot of money. I don't see them dropping 350 billion for that amongst all the other things that they've got to drop for. Just me.
So I saw something on somebody else's. Somebody was actually talking about it the other day, and I looked into it. Now, exactly what this is, I'm not sure, but um, I don't know if you can. Let me unplug my phone. Do you see that right there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, what is that? That's a patent number on it.
Mm-hmm.
So is this shit actually patented? They patent it?
A patent doesn't necessarily have to mean it's like, as in like they created it or whatnot, or I mean, you'd have to look into exactly what that patent is for on that.
Can y'all hear me?
Yep. Now we
Yeah.
can.
So that $1,000, that's not going to even cover anybody's rent. Everybody's still trying to figure out what they're going to do for those people who are out of work who are not going to be able to afford to pay their rent.
Now, I don't know if you saw. There's a what do you call that? A thing going around on change.org
Yeah,
where
petition.
a petition where they're trying to get enough signatures to put it in front of the governor where here in Washington where the rent will be waived until after this is done.
Yeah, they've got that going around here in Oregon too.
And I'm sure they have it
Yeah,
going on.
there's a lot of governors all over that have already passed stuff like that. I think they already passed that here in Pennsylvania. Don't quote me on that though, but
It's
Because
just crazy.
remember about the job I was telling you about?
Yeah.
You know, I was originally supposed to ship out on the 30th. Now I'm not going to be shipping out until probably like the 12th or 13th of April. And I've been messaging a lot of people about this job that I'm going for, and they're like, you shouldn't go on a cruise ship. You know what's going around. And I'm thinking to myself, these people are stupid when obviously they're taking the precautions.
Yeah, because that doesn't start for a while.
They're
Well, no,
they're taking the precautions that they need to keep us from getting any of that stuff. So this whole world's becoming mental over this.
I mean, back to what I was saying, Dutchman. What do you think about that? Because you know or you knew exactly where we were with trying to get in touch with the hospital, and numerous people said that she was tested and came back negative, and now all of a sudden one of the nurses at the hospital said there are no tests.
what do I think as far as what you just asked with them not having tests or what?
Like, did you expect them to not have tests?
I expect a lot of places to not have tests like they should. I know there are places that do have tests. Holy crap, who is blowing me up and why? God, I go all day. I might have one person. It's usually my eye on you, or it's Jeremiah saying something to me. I've all of a sudden got like 50 texts, and it's just people showing me their campfire. All right. Anyways, sorry about that. No, I know that there's a lot of places that don't have them. Um, I think out here, the town that I'm in, I don't think they have them at this hospital yet because there's no reported cases. Um, I think Harrisburg, I think they're testing. I got family members who are actual doctors, surgeons, things of that nature who high enough up in there to know whether or not they actually have stuff. And there's testing going on throughout Pennsylvania. Um, you know, it kind of wouldn't surprise me if maybe like, oh well, maybe they're out or this nurse is just one of those.
She said
It's
there
hard
has.
to say.
She said there has not been a single test in that hospital.
I mean, again, something like that, I personally would have to take with a grain of salt. I'd have to speak with someone higher up than a nurse. Not saying that she's lying, but a nurse is so low on the totem pole.
But you
By
would
the
think,
time things
but
come down to her,
but you would think the nurse would know because she's one of the people who's dealing with it.
I mean,
She's one of the people who is in there with these sick people.
I think the competency level of hospitals passing on information to people is ridiculous these days. They don't. One person could say one thing, another person could say another because their communication is horrible.
I mean, I'll put it to you like this, man. They got a RN and an LPN, registered nurse and licensed nurse, whatever,
Mhm.
at my kid's school.
Right?
And here last year, I caused a big problem for them because a couple of the other little kids had to carry my daughter off the bus because she had so much pain in her stomach she couldn't walk. Well, she's holding her stomach right where her appendix would be. First thing pops into my mind from my medical experience,
Mhm.
appendicitis. Okay, I called them up complaining while I'm on the way to the hospital to get this checked out. And they said, well, we didn't think it'd be that because it's not on the right side. It's not on the side her appendix is on. I was like, it most certainly is. She's like, well, no, it's not. I had to sit there and argue this with them until I made them actually look it up. They didn't know which side the freaking appendix was on. I mean, to me, that's like some simple. It's like, what side of your chest is your heart on? You say it's not in my chest; it's down by my left toe. I mean, that's an issue, you know. And I see stuff like this all the time in a bunch of different hospitals, where these nurses they don't know what they think they know. I mean, again, I'm
Okay,
not
well,
saying she's wrong.
okay, well, this was one of the head nurses on the floor, and I'm going to respond to Stephanie. That Stephanie said, then how are they confirming that there are actual coronavirus patients? Okay, so this nurse, I'm not going to give any names, nothing. I'm not going to say, yeah.
Right.
She laughed and said, "Don't believe what you see on the news. There are no tests here." Now, did she mean there's no tests whatsoever? Probably not. Did she say there's no tests in that hospital? Yes.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. I mean, for something like that, it's one of the things. And again, this is just how I would personally take this situation. I couldn't sit there and say, well, this nurse is an idiot or, oh my God, she's the authority on it. But I'd have to say, I need to look into this a little bit more, ask someone higher up than a nurse.
I mean,
Even if she's a head nurse, that to me, it's because a nurse, even a head nurse, is not in charge of that stuff. There's
well,
someone else that gives
I
them the kits and whatnot.
Dutchman, listen. We also not only just, how can I say this? It's also in messages.
Mm-hmm.
This is somebody that, yeah. I'm not going to go into further detail on that. I don't want to out anybody.
Oh no, I understand.
It's just, do I
Yeah.
believe? Do I believe what she said? Yes, because some of it was said off the clock.
Yeah. But I mean, like I said, it's something that I myself would have to just sit there and kind of look into this a little bit more, and if so, figure out. Okay, let's see. Let's try to figure out why this is. Let's say it's true. I don't know this person the way you do,
Right.
so I can't say I trust or don't trust them.
Right.
But I mean, a lot of the people I know, I don't trust. So,
Yeah,
but
you don't trust anybody. So what
very
what
few, very few.
I'm just gonna be very honest with you. What you're saying right now, I'm just taking it with a grain of salt.
That's all
Not gonna
you can
lie.
do.
Not gonna
That's
lie.
all you can do. You know what I mean? And that's
Yeah.
all anyone should do in this kind of situation, because one way or another, someone's gonna panic.
Right.
You know what I mean? Someone's gonna hear this. Let's say it is true.
Hmm.
Someone's gonna hear this and say, "Oh my God, they don't have tests. They're lying to us." And it's going to get blown out of, they're going to blow it out of proportion because they're not mentally competent enough to handle the situation, understand, what is the reason? Can we look into this further and figure out why?
Now, Stephanie, let me say something here because Stephanie is from here in Vancouver, at that hospital, which she knows exactly which one it is. Um, they say there's a couple confirmed cases in the hospital right now on the same floor as my mother-in-law. Okay, so how do they know there are confirmed cases when they say that there are no tests in that hospital? See, and we were told numerous times that my mother-in-law got tested and it came back negative. And then we were told numerous times that she never got tested. So I don't know what to believe. But it's the nurse's uh, exact words were, she laughed and said, "Do not believe everything you see on the news. There are no tests here."
And see, that's where, again, this is just me, but if I were you in that situation and I trusted this person the way you say you do,
Yeah.
I'd have to sit there and say, I need to find more sources on this.
Good luck on doing that.
Oh, there's always a way.
And see
There's always a way.
here's the thing. When my wife started questioning them a little bit while she was there, they threatened to escort her off the property if she doesn't leave on her own.
That's what that camera's for, man.
You know, you can't do that inside the hospital. I mean, you just
It's never
especially.
stopped me. It's never stopped me.
I mean, maybe it should.
If someone's threatening to take me out of the hospital or something for asking questions, hey, you better be sure that that camera's coming out. I don't care why, because there's something going on right there.
Yeah, you would also record phone calls, but see, I live in a two-party state where, I can't even record phone calls legally.
Why would they kick her out for questioning them?
That's the thing. I don't understand it.
Just because you want answers?
And Jill
I
said,
mean, right there, that's where you sit there and say, "I'll take it to a local news media, then have them run with this story."
see, okay, so Jill said they're going around swabbing people, even setting up drive-throughs. Now, for those of you who don't know, about 2 weeks ago, my wife actually ended up going to the hospital. She had every symptom of it, 100%, every symptom, and even to this day, she's still suffering from things. Um, they swabbed her. They checked everything. They said they even admitted, she has every symptom there is because she works at the airport as well. And after the swab test, we asked, if they tested, and they said that they only swabbed her for the flu to see if she had the flu. So,
Did you get sick from her?
I did. We're both still not 100% over it. Like
Do you have all the symptoms?
I had a runny nose, I had a fever, I had a cough, and then I had the chills, and then I had kind of almost like a memory loss, like for a few seconds here and there. Yes.
How high was your fever?
The highest mine was 101.7.
Mm. It's
And
usually not high enough to cause issues of
the
memory
the
loss and things
the
like that.
exactly, but it's like for a split second I didn't know what the hell I was talking about. I didn't know, like, trust me, Carmela can tell you. Um, as far as her, the highest she had for about half an hour was 104 something.
That's getting up there to where it can
And
cause
then
some.
that's what pushed her to go to the hospital.
Yeah, you can start getting really loopy at 104. I think it's around 105 is where you actually start getting like brain damage and stuff.
If you have it for an X amount of time, yes.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So yeah, I mean, they swabbed her and everything, even after they said that she has every symptom of it. But then come to find out, they said they only tested her for the flu, and it came back. They said it came back as the type A. So
And see, that's one of the things that they're doing. They're testing for the flu first because there's an abundance of those kits. And if you come back as positive for any type strain of flu or something like that, then it's they don't test you for corona.
right, justice
But
and truth said, hard to believe really anything right now. That is so true. That is so true.
I don't think that's really Jeremiah sitting there.
Shut the
I
hell
don't believe it.
I know he doesn't have a hoodie on.
You want to
Oh,
bet?
there he is. There he is.
That better?
Now it's just a great cornholio.
That's
I need
peaches and
I
cream.
need TP from a bunghole.
Too bad
He
we're
needs
all
that.
out.
He needs that TP to wipe the cream from his peach.
Nah, can we just forget that peach already?
No,
It's
man, I
kind of
have
hard not to
nightmares from
forget
that.
that hairy fuzzy peach.
Listen. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's not even funny anymore. Not to me.
Oh my.
Did you get those video clips I sent you of people doing that shit in the UK?
Probably I don't even remember. Blue I said when I go to work, my temperature's taken every morning when I walk through that door. See, that is what I don't understand. Okay, checking your temperature won't do shit because according to what they're saying, you can be a carrier of it before you even show symptoms, right?
Right, being asymptomatic.
Exactly. So what is taking the temperature going to do? Because if you're carrying it already, you're going to expose everyone else to it.
It's again, it's just like a precautionary thing. You know, it's think of it like a background check. Okay, you go to purchase a firearm, you pass a background check. That just means you haven't been caught doing anything wrong. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean that you're not going to. You don't have the intentions to. It just means you haven't been caught. So
Right.
there's nothing on your federal record. So doing a temperature check, that's just like saying, okay, that's like when it comes back and saying, oh, hey, this guy has a felony, so you can't purchase a firearm. Oh, hey, you got a fever, so you might have this. We're gonna check further. It's a way to get some. It's definitely not going to get them all by any means, but it's a way to try to help find them.
Diana, trust me, that's exactly how my wife is. 100%. So yeah, I just thought I would come on here, just share what I heard. You know, you can take it for what it is. Some people are going to believe it. Some of them aren't.
Oh man.
I'm just going to be honest. I don't believe it. I believe that. I mean, I do believe it. I believe that what the media is saying is all just fake. Not all, but a lot. It's fake. When they're talking about this. Exactly, Blue Eyes. Exactly. So,
Do you
it is
believe
what it-
that most of the people that are dying from it are people who are older?
yes, 100%. I mean, most of the people that are dying from it are people that are actually those are the same people that are dying from their regular flu. 100%.
And that's the thing with this. The kind of I find weird that they're. I'm not seeing anything. Even like with what this you find on the CDC website, state health websites, whatnot, health department websites.
What's
I'm
going on,
really not
Larry?
seeing a whole lot extra that's really making this that it's so much worse than the flu. Other than we just don't have any kind of immunities built to this yet, and it does seem to spread faster. But I mean, spreading faster doesn't necessarily. I mean, that's just it. It just spreads faster. As far as its lethality and whatnot, it doesn't affect the same age range as what the flu does.
And if this
And
started
maybe
in
there's a lot
China,
of
why the hell did they bring all those people back over here?
So Jill said a lot of wealthy elites have caught it. Forbes did an article listing a bunch of political leaders, celebs, etc. I mean, yes, but you have not heard any of them say that it's like majorly bad, majorly horrible, or that it's worse than the regular flu. Now, do
well,
I
it's like
believe do I believe that is some people have problems breathing with it? Yes, I do. But if you think about it, if it was actually if it was actually as bad as they say it is, then why are people in their 30s and 40s not dying from it?
yeah, and I mean that's kind of along with what I'm saying is it's it doesn't affect the same age range
You know,
as
and
what the flu does.
how many people have died from this?
On American soil, I think we're up to like 60 some.
Okay, and how many people have died in the 2017-2018 flu season?
I think around 34 or 36,000, something like that.
Okay, and in 2009, how many people died
From what?
from shit? What was it called that was coming through here in
SARS.
2009?
H1N1?
I'm not sure exactly which one it was. It was one of them that came through here in 2009.
H1N1 is swine flu. That was a little more recent. That was either I think that was SARS in like '08 and '09.
Okay,
I'm
and
not sure without looking it up.
do you know how many people died from that?
I do not.
If I remember correctly, it was like 300 and some thousand.
Let me look it up here quick.
China had a lot of citizens yelling, "It's fake! It's a scam." It's a hyped up flu. Yes, it is. That's what I think.
How many have died in Italy?
Oh wow, this is ridiculous.
What?
Oh, I'm trying to look that up for how many died from SARS.
Uh-huh.
I ain't even getting nothing on SARS. Everything's Corona.
Okay, let me look something up. I'll look it up for you.
Oh, here's SARS fast facts, but that's from CNN.
So, how many people died in 2009? So that was the swine flu.
Was it the swine flu? I thought that was
Yep.
more recent than that. Okay, I was wrong.
Okay, so I was wrong. It was 203,000 people. says 203,000 people.
And is that in just the United States, or is that all around the world?
So that was all around the world, I think. Said 22 million Americans had been affected with the 2009 H1N1, and 4,000 Americans have died.
They're making a bigger deal out of this than they did to everything else.
Yep.
So let's see how many died in 2017. Died in.
I'll be 100% honest. I'm still more worried about going out in the woods and getting bit by a tick and getting freaking Lyme's disease. Because I know how much that stuff sucks.
Okay, so it says the 2017 and 18 flu season was severe for all of us, or for all of U.S. populations, and resulted in an estimated 959,000 hospitalizations and 61,000 deaths. That was in the 2017-2018. Diana said she had swine flu and survived. So, are a lot of people going to get infected by this? 100%. Are a lot of people going to die from it? Not as much as they say. That's my opinion. Everyone has a right to their own opinion.
And ain't no one going to be shitting enough to use all that toilet paper either.
It doesn't even give you the shits. I don't understand this toilet paper thing.
I got some hot sauce that'll give you the shits.
Pour it all over that fuzzy peach.
Listen, buddy, this stuff could degrease an engine. It might eat the engine.
You're going to need more than that hot sauce once my size 10.5 shoe goes up your ass.
Mine's size 11. Mm-hmm.
I'm size 13. Wide.
Prove it.
13 wide.
Please don't.
He coughed. He's got it. Put him in quarantine. He coughed.
Wow.
Oh, see, Jeremiah, you took it to a dirty place. That's all. See, that's all I was at. He proved it. So we see where your mind's at. Nah, just messing with you, buddy.
I know.
But yeah, it's I've been saying I think there's just so much overhype with all this. I think it is something to take seriously, just like any kind of new disease, virus, or whatever. But keep a level head.
They say
some of this has just gotten crazy.
So the hospital's doctors don't get overwhelmed. People don't contract. It is insane, 100%. I posted the link if anybody wants to come up here. If anybody has anything to say, trust me, we would love to hear it.
I think some of these mothers and stuff on here need to start teaching the rest of the people around them how to do that Lamaze breathing and just calm the hell down.
Oh, boy.
Ladies, that's how you can help do your part. Get everyone to just chill out.
Yeah.
Everyone needs to go out and have a drink and calm down. Xanax works faster? Yeah, it does.
What's going on, Rebecca? Rebecca, jump right on up here. Rebecca said just smoke some grass and stay calm.
I agree.
100%.
I think I will tonight.
Brian, turn that shit off.
What was going through your mind at that picture?
Turn that shit off.
Honestly, it looks like you're looking at her like, where did your hair go? You got something on your head there, Mary. It looks like your mindset is like something completely different.
I told Rebecca to jump up here. She said, "No, I'm good. I can put my worthless 2 cents in right here."
Oh, come on. We all want to hear from you. Get on up here.
No, I'm not gonna make her come up here.
Well, I'm still allowed to tease her, ain't I?
Nope.
Well, then what the hell's the point of me even being on here?
You can tease anybody except for Rebecca.
Oh, man, but she's so much fun because she gives it back.
So let's talk more about that fuzzy peach then.
Oh, Lord.
Listen. When it comes to Abe and Rebecca, I will stand behind them, or actually, I'll stand in front of them. People have to get through me first.
That's not much of a challenge.
As far as the rest that were on the show, well, I'd stand to the side. Just being honest.
Even Mary?
Boy.
No, Mary, I would stand there too. But the rest of them, I would stand to the side. I would actually get the camera out for the rest.
I was gonna say, if she gets drunk, you have to hold her up, right?
What about Katie Ann?
Katie Ann is one of the schmuckers.
So is that a yes or a no?
Of course.
All right.
Anybody who's not a schmucker, I would stand to the side. I wouldn't have a problem. What's going on, Lori?
So you
from sunny Florida.
So if it was Carmela, you would stand to the side because she's not a.
Listen, shut the hell up.
You're going to get him in trouble now. Come on. She's
know
gonna
what?
jump on there
Listen,
and smack
listen.
that camera across the room.
Okay, let's make
He's
this,
always in trouble.
let's make this clear. Here's the thing. If they're not family, I would stand off to the side. Lori said, do people have questions about the virus? I could probably answer some. Lori, why don't you jump up here? Rebecca, you'd run like hell. Why would you run? Because that's no fun if you can't watch somebody else. You know, I would stand to the side with the camera. Let anybody go at him.
I think if you guys do another season, you need to start like a ex-Amish dating thing or something.
Get your mind off the freaking dating shit with the Amish girls.
AmishOnly.com.
Lori, if you jump up here, I do have questions for you. 100%. I do have questions about what I was talking about. And if you don't know how to get up here, then click on that link and follow directions. It'll tell you.
But we don't know how to follow directions.
I know you don't.
What are directions?
Neither do you.
Do what now?
Neither do you. You don't know how to follow directions, Dutchman.
Of course not. I mean, I do. I just prefer not to.
Gotcha, Rebecca. What did you miss, Michelle? You missed a whole bunch.
That's why I don't work for bags anymore, Jeremiah, because I don't know how to follow directions.
Well, thank you, Jill. Thank you. So you also recognize Rebecca then. And we have Lori in the house. What's going on, Lori?
Hey there.
So,
Let
what
me
do we...
see.
Were you here in the beginning of this video?
No, I just logged on now.
Okay, so you said you can answer questions. Are you a nurse, doctor, anything?
I was in nursing, worked in an ER,
Okay.
so I could answer basic questions. I'm trying to get someplace where I see the lighting's not very good. Okay, go ahead, shoot.
Okay, so in the beginning of this video, I was saying how my mother-in-law is in the hospital,
Oh, I'm
and
sorry for that.
some of the nurses were saying that she got tested for the coronavirus, came back negative, and then other nurses were saying that she was never tested, and then all of a sudden they would not let us talk to our mother-in-law. And this was after they admitted that they screwed up and gave her too much oxygen, so her thinking is her mind's kind of like out of it, and they wouldn't give us any updates. So come to find out that they had moved her to the ICU, and they have a tube in her lungs, through her,
Okay.
like through the side here. They have a tube into her lungs, and they wouldn't give us any information whatsoever. And then finally they quit answering our calls. And late yesterday afternoon, towards evening, we actually did get in touch. We had a long conversation with the head nurse on the floor, and she when we asked if my mother-in-law got tested for the coronavirus, she laughed and said, "Don't believe what you see on the news. There are no tests here."
Okay. As far as tests, it seems like it depends what part of the country people are in. There are some areas where there are tests available, and there are areas where there are not tests available.
Right.
And even in the areas where there are tests available, they're being really prudent about who they test. And what they're doing is going through a checklist to see if somebody has been somehow exposed, whether through travel or if they have been exposed to somebody else who has been around somebody who has the virus.
Right.
And they're looking at symptoms as whether they have a fever. So if somebody, has a runny nose but doesn't have any other symptoms, they don't have a fever, they don't have a cough, they're not going to be tested. Now, do you know why your mother-in-law was initially hospitalized?
Yes, she couldn't breathe. And when she got in there, she actually met every symptom that they were saying that it takes. And they also said, this is what I don't understand. They said that there's like a few people on the same floor that are actually positive with the coronavirus. So how can they like same floor in the hospital? They're like right mixed in with everybody else. And
she's at Florida Hospital?
She's in the hospital here in Washington State.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I thought you said Florida Hospital.
No, on the same floor that she's on, they said there's a few people that have that tested positive for the coronavirus. So why is the head nurse saying that numerous people tested positive that are on the floor, but there are no tests in the hospital? And this is actually pretty much the main hospital here in Vancouver, Washington. They have the trauma center and everything there.
Right, unless they had tests and ran out.
So it was. This is the nurse's exact words. She laughed and said, "Do not believe what you see on the news. There are no tests here."
That could be true for that area, unfortunately. But like I said, it's going to be different from area to area, and it's constantly changing as they're producing more tests.
Right.
So there may be some place where there are no tests today, but that doesn't mean there aren't going to be test kits brought in tomorrow.
Well, according to the nurse, there hasn't been any tests in that hospital yet. But
then that makes no sense how they know that somebody's.
Exactly, and that's why we were like so confused and frustrated at the same time when we heard all this.
Unless they were diagnosed someplace else and then transferred to the hospital because their symptoms have increased. Because there are people, especially as you're getting more and more people turn up positive, like people who are young and healthy and test positive and remain healthy can stay at home in isolation.
Right.
And as people's symptoms worsen, then they would be admitted to the hospital, but there aren't resources to admit everybody who tests positive.
Right.
So,
But yeah, in this hospital, this is coming from somebody that we actually do know that works at the hospital. Nurses are walking out, not wanting to work anymore.
yeah, I'm sure. Because I mean, it's terrifying, and some of them may not have been home, for days or weeks. And so a lot of times in hospitals, they'll have empty rooms where nurses will work 12 hours on and 12 hours off. So they'll crash, in empty rooms during the 12 hours they have off, and then go back and work another 12 hours. So they may not have been home for weeks, and, and they have neighbors watching their kids. It's like, we never know what anybody else's situations are, at home. And if they haven't had, if they've been working day after day after day and, running out of resources, and people are going to get frustrated. And, if they have things going on at home, if they have, ill family members, there are just so many things, that would contribute,
right.
to
Now,
staff.
I want to make one thing clear here in the chat. Rebecca Schmucker actually pointed something out. No, it is not Mama Mary that is in the hospital. It is not her. It's my mother-in-law. So.
And again, I wanted to say, I'm so sorry, you're having to go through that. That's, such a scary thing, especially when you can't be there.
Right. And the thing is, they will not, they were on the list to get all the updates, and they have not given us a single update voluntarily. We had to force it out of them.
Yeah, you should have one family member that's a representative, that's the spokesperson for the family, that they can speak to, so that way they're not having multiple people calling or having to explain things to multiple people. Does she have that?
Yes, and we are from what I gather, we are the ones that are supposed to be getting all that.
Yeah.
Unless, even her sisters aren't getting any updates. Nothing. They can't get any info.
And that's what I'm saying. It would be a lot better if you can say to the hospital, look, we've all gotten together and we've named one person that will contact you. So, you don't have to stress about multiple family members calling. And that might make it easier. And that way they know there's only going to be one person. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. Give me 1 second here.
Oh my. Well, while we're waiting for him, anyone got anything good to say? Anybody? My eye on you. Welcome, welcome.
Yeah, I guess.
I was gonna say, while you're doing your thing, I know when I've been reading comments in other threads, just in general, the last several days, that I know a lot of people are scared and nervous. And if you are, young and healthy, meaning over the age of 3 and under the age of 60, and you do happen to get it, it generally is just cold symptoms, but it's still really important that if you can stay at home, you do stay at home, because what we're trying to do is stop the spread, because older adults and people with compromised immune systems can get it. And those are the people, who are in the most danger of not being able to beat it.
So do you think this is worse than what the swine flu was, since 203,000 people died from that in 2009?
That this is worse than what?
The swine flu?
I mean, it's different. I haven't crunched the numbers from the swine flu. I've looked at the numbers from the regular flu, and yes, the mortality rate is much, much higher than the regular flu, which is why, we're trying to get, if you can, for people to stay home, so this thing can kind of burn out, because our vulnerable populations, that's who it's really dangerous for.
Because in 2009, was it 209,000 people died from it?
You'd have to look at how many people were diagnosed. And then,
what did it say was diagnosed? 900 and some thousand, I think.
I don't remember.
And then 209,000 people died.
And the other factor is how contagious it is. And apparently this is more contagious than anything we've ever seen. And that's
not
the other concern is.
Not quite. I mean, the CDC was talking about this a couple days ago, where they said the flu is like 1 in 3. When they talked about it then, I don't know if they upgraded to being more contagious or not, but they said that I completely forgot the name of this one. Corona is every 2 to 3 it can spread to, whereas things like the measles is like 10 to 15. So every 10 to 15 people you come in contact with. So there's definitely stuff out there that we face that's much more contagious than this.
But the mortality rate of this, depending on what country's numbers you're looking at, is 6 to 10%, when you're looking at the flu, which is less than 1%.
And I think the reason why things are so high right now is because this is something new. No one's really gotten immunity built up to it.
So
we don't have the vaccine like we do like the flu.
So Blue Eyes
I think
say keep your hands off your face. And Blue Eyes said keep your hands off. I just want to respond to it before that goes away. Blue Eyes said keep your hands off your face and out of your mouth. Well, first of all, I haven't left this house except to step outside to have a cigarette. I'm not around people, and that's the way it's been for over a week already. So I'm not concerned.
Then you'll be fine.
Exactly. My hands are clean.
Yeah, you're fine. And I do have an autoimmune disorder, so I've been home because I do have a compromised immune system. But my spouse is still working. But she takes all the precautions when she comes home, changes, in the garage, leave the shoes in the garage, change your clothes, and then wash up when you get home. And then after that, you can only do what you can do. So if you're doing, because there are people that are able to still work or need to still work. So, you just follow the precautions out there, and we're all going to get through this.
Oh, yeah.
And I think the the tough part is, how it's affecting people psychologically too. So, what can we do to support each other? How can we encourage each other? And especially, finding things for kids to do, because there are a lot of kids that are home now.
So for those of you who don't know who My Eye on You is, he did a video earlier today from Walmart. So if you want to see exactly how empty the Walmart is down there in northern Florida, go watch his video. Yeah,
I'm in Florida, and our Walmart's apparently is pretty cleared out.
Which, like, are you like southern, mid, north?
I'm on the coast, up Space Coast.
Gotcha. Yeah,
so
My Eye on You is actually up north as well. He's like half an hour from Georgia.
Yeah, and I know I can say it. There are so many people saying, "What is up with toilet paper?" And I can say, if you're going to be home for 2 or 3 weeks, you need toilet paper. It's that simple. I mean, that's all it is.
Yeah, but I mean,
it's not going to take that much unless you wrap your hand full of toilet paper and then use it.
If you need to use that much toilet paper, you got an underlying health issue that needs addressed first.
Well,
I got 4 people in my household, and a 12-pack lasts me 3 months.
Yeah, I mean, if there are people taking more than 2 or 3 weeks supply, I mean,
it's ridiculous.
If someone in there today just had to fight over a 4-pack.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Nope.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's the thing is if you don't have any toilet paper, I mean, just buy cheap washcloths, put them in a bucket of sanitary cleaner, and then throw them in the washer, wash and dry them, and use them again. I mean, hell, if I run out, I'm just going to scratch my ass on the grass, and I'll be done with it.
Yeah, but you got a lot of them fire ants and stuff there. You're going to be having a whole nother problem.
I just use Preparation 8, and that's all.
There you go.
And for those of you who think you need a face mask, stop going out and buying face masks. Just go buy a whole bunch of bras and stuff and just cut them in half and put some straps on it around your ears. And there you go.
Can we get them used first?
Or you can just get the filler pads. That's even cheaper. And then just sew little strings onto it.
There you go.
Can we get them used?
And then let me touch another thing real quick. I know it's off subject, but why I'm on the Walmart subject. I left there so freaking mad because everybody walks by that guy at the end, stops and hands that guy a receipt. People need to understand what that is doing. That is illegal, and they need to stop it. Okay? It needs to stop. Everybody needs to spread the word to stop it. Don't give them a damn receipt at the end.
See, on the Walmart website, they are considered a greeter. So a greeter is somebody who greets you when you come in. They don't greet you on the damn way out. Therefore, they have no right in no way, shape, or form once you pay for it. And now I'll be honest with you, which some of you actually heard me say it before. Here in a Walmart, the person actually was reaching into my bag to check everything, and I said, you might want to stop now unless you want to be on camera, because I said I will start filming this shit, because I said you reached in there, now you're actually being a thief because I paid for it.
Yep, once you pay for it, it is yours, and then it becomes a Fourth Amendment issue.
They cannot make you stop in no way, shape, or form. I don't care what anybody says. They are considered a greeter. That is their job title. That is all they can do.
And the issue is what gets me so angry is I'm standing waiting for my wife. And all I could do was see people just walk, take out their receipt, hand. He does his job. Not him.
You're breaking up, man.
Just do it. Completely do it.
He must.
Sounds like a robot.
You're losing service there, man. You're breaking up really bad.
He must be on the way home from Walmart. There's that one spot where there's no service.
You'll have to try again in a bit.
Give him a minute, and he'll be back in service.
But yeah, I mean, it's I know what he's saying, and it's people are brainwashed into compliance. They don't stop to think. They're like, oh, okay, I should just do this. Well, no.
But you know what, though?
I mean,
this may not be the time to be having those conversations, at Walmart, because
it's always a time.
everybody's. What's that?
I said it's always a time, especially during something like this, because this is when they're going to jump you. This is when they're going to try and get your rights from you.
This is where they're going to try to turn it into martial law. Just watch. When
this is how these things work.
In the vulnerable times, they're going to turn it into martial law. And I fully understand that some people don't agree with what some others think, and that's totally fine. I mean, there's nothing wrong with people disagreeing. There's nothing wrong with each person giving their opinion, 100%. So I just want to make that clear. That way, there's no hard feelings, no degrading or anything on this channel.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, what's a more real issue is if the primaries are going to be delayed because of the virus. I think that's going to be, more of a real issue that we're going to be looking at next.
I mean, I think it's going to be delayed. Just being honest.
I don't know. I don't really see it being a huge issue myself. I mean, I don't know your reasonings behind it, but it's going to happen eventually.
Right. But if they're cutting down on gatherings, and that would postpone it. So. And that's when things could get sticky.
Exactly.
So, but I'm going to run unless anybody had any other questions about the virus.
I'm sure once you're gone, then I'm gonna be like, oh shit, why didn't I ask this?
Okay. If I'll get on Facebook and send you a direct message, so that way, if you have any questions, you can always feel free to contact me directly. So, and I hope, especially for your mother-in-law, that pray for healing for her. Is she still intubated? As far as you know.
The only thing they tell us is she's doing better. She's doing better, but that's what they told us the day they put her into ICU.
Okay.
They told us she's doing better. She's doing better, and then later on we find out, oh, the day they told us she's doing better, she got moved to ICU. So we don't know.
Yeah, I mean, my recommendation is, for whoever you pick as the family representative, to call and see if they could speak to whoever the charge nurse is for that shift, and have a conversation with her or him and say, our family got together and we picked one family representative who will be the contact person. So this way we can get timely information, and you don't have to worry about several people from our family calling and asking the same thing.
Well, we're pretty much the ones that are in contact with all the family members that would actually call in.
But if you can assure the charge nurse that there will only be one person calling.
Right. Yeah. Clash in Canada, I fully agree with you on that one.
Okay, take care.
Sharon Watson has a question. Do you agree that the only people needing masks are those infected?
I know what the official answer is. I would say if you're one person who needs to be out of the house and working, and you have a chronic health condition or you're immunocompromised, that it would be in your best interest to have a mask. If you're in that category where you are healthy, I mean, there aren't enough masks to go around. So, just do all of the things that people have been saying to do. Best thing is if you have a choice between washing your hands or using the gels, always use soap and water. They've done so many research studies about how it is much, much more efficient. So,
and another thing to touch on that is a lot of people need to understand is it doesn't have to be antibacterial soap.
right.
Any soap and water will help. Not to mention, you're using an antibacterial. There we go. You can tell where my gut's at right now. Antibacterial for a virus.
Right.
I mean, any soap will help with this.
Yeah, just plain old, Ivory soap, Dove soap, whatever. The thing is that you're cleaning your hands and you're getting everything off of your skin. So, and I mean, that's just good practice all the time, not just, during this
people at
time.
our Walmarts are avoiding what is it, soft soap or whatever the brand is called, soft soap or soft touch, something like that. They're avoiding buying that stuff like the plague, like there's something wrong with it. They've actually reduced the price on it. It's like for just a standard container, it's like 60 cents. Because ain't no one buying that stuff.
For some reason, I can't hear anybody. It might be because my phone rang.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you, Jeremiah. I can hear you, Lori.
I can go out and come back in.
Okay.
Yeah, it's probably because her phone issue.
Yeah, her phone went off. So.
But yeah, I mean, any hand soap, it's going to do it. It breaks down the bond between the germs and whatever surface they're on and helps them slip off. You're not killing the germ using soap. You're just straight removing the germ.
Mm-hmm. So why is there no... Well, I shouldn't say that. There's probably a shortage on all the soaps.
Why is there no what?
I said there probably is a shortage on the soap.
Oh yeah, there is a shortage on a lot of the soaps, but for some reason it's not all the soaps. Like you said, around here, Soft Touch or Soft Soap, whatever that brand name is called, people are barely touching that. And I think it's bizarre.
Oh, I just caught the end of that about you said you have soft soap and people are barely touching it. Yeah, that's just not having enough information and not knowing that works just as well. Yeah. And actually, for healthy people in general should not be using antibacterial soap all the time, because a certain amount of regular bacteria is always good for your immune system. I'm not talking about specifically now during this coronavirus issue, but just, everyday, day-to-day life.
Oh, absolutely.
Just plain old, regular soap works best.
Oh, we lost her. Clash in Canada's. Oh my God, look at that. So everyone is a germaphobe nowadays. Like you said, I grew up on the farm as well, and growing up on the farm, getting dirty. That's how you get your immune system built up.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Sorry about that.
Nope, you're fine.
I was saying that's why we end up with a lot of these, like MRSA, the bacteria resistant infections, is because people are using antibiotics when they shouldn't be, and using, a lot of all these products that are antibacterial when they, it's not necessary. So just plain old soap and water, does the job. So,
because that'll actually wash everything away. Whereas,
yeah.
As the hand sanitizer doesn't even really kill it, does it?
It does. It reduces the numbers, but it doesn't eliminate. Whereas the soap and water, it does not kill, but it just completely washes them off.
Exactly.
Right.
So it's still doing better than what the hand sanitizer is.
Right. And while you're at the sink, just wash up to the elbow. It just takes a couple seconds.
Oh, but that's too hard for too many people.
Well, then, I learned as a kid there are consequences to everything. Everybody has a choice.
Here's the reality of it. Most people are too lazy to do it.
As far as how long you should wash your hands, this would be easy for people to
20
remember.
seconds.
All you have to do is sing the happy birthday song twice. That's the easiest way to remember. Just sing happy birthday to yourself twice. And you're done.
Well, why not? No one ever sings it to me anyways.
Aww. You know what? Next time I wash my hands, I'll sing to you.
Oh, thank you. That'll make me feel so much better.
If your nose starts itching or something, somebody out there is washing their hands. Now, many people may wash their hands and sing happy birthday to you. So,
my. Well, here's hoping.
Dutchman, there
I
might be a
may
whole
have
lot.
started something.
There might be a whole lot of things going on with hands while they're singing to you.
Well, hey, I mean, I need to get some attention somehow.
I'll leave it there. I won't say it in other words.
I'll take the attention how I can get it,
Clash in Canada said, "How about y'all sing the national anthem? Y'all are taking it out of their schools. Exactly. They, the schools that are taking that out, they're. I don't even know. I know, but I don't want to put it. I don't want to say it because I would get so much hell for it. So, I got my opinion on it.
Speaking of schools, a little off subject, but speaking of schools, with all this stuff going on, it's just something that I found very, very odd with our school district. We have what I forget the exact term they use. Some flexible something days. Pretty much, think of it as like a longer snow day, I guess. When you're out for an extended period of time, the whole school was out. Now, for these days, they send home packets of schoolwork for the kids to do, so they stay, up to speed on all their stuff. And they said they sent home my kids home all these packets of stuff to do to keep them on track up to the 30th, which is when they're planning on reopening the schools. Well, since Governor Tom Wolf announced that statewide schools are closing, now they're saying it's not necessary. Well, he's only saying that the schools need to be closed until the 30th, so they can reopen on the 30th. And I for the life of me, I can't figure out the logic why they're saying, since Tom Wolf said we're closing the school, the kids don't have to do this schoolwork now. They're saying it's not required now. They're not going to be held responsible for doing it. It's not going to count towards their grades. Nothing.
It'll keep them out of your hair.
Oh yeah, trust me. I have them doing schoolwork on the weekends, regardless what the school says. My son's in first grade on the third grade reading level. He's on third grade math level. I keep my kids well occupied with stuff.
So, I try to keep up with the chat that's going on. So Myrna said, I'm a Walmart cashier, called off today. They have security guarding the TP when the trucks come in. And then Laura asked a question for you, Lori. If you use bar soap to wash your hands, if you use bar soap to wash your hands, does it stay on the soap?
That I don't know about, but I would say just rinse it off. I don't imagine that it would. I mean, at least
bits of it will, but if you rinse it as you're washing it all away as you do it.
That's what I'm saying. I just rinse it.
So when I scrub my hands, I don't just lather up, put the soap down, and then do my hands. I keep that bar of soap in my hands. I stay under, the water hot as I can stand it, and I just keep going for, the recommended length of time. And that way there it's constantly fresh soap. You're not rubbing around old stuff. You're constantly washing all that stuff down the drain, off the bar soap, off your hands. And also, if you ever watch doctors... Sorry, go ahead, Lori. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, if you watch or even talk to doctors about it, that's one thing a lot of them will actually recommend you doing. My brother-in-law's a surgeon. And it's like it's force of nature. You watch him wash his hands. He's still got that bar of soap going in between his fingers and whatnot. He don't just lather up, set the soap down. He sits there and sits there, picks under the fingernails. It gets kind of annoying, really, to the extent that he goes. But the
other thing too is you don't want to wash your hands and then end up touching the dirty spigot to turn the water off. So if you have a paper towel there, turn the water off or use your elbow.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
What I actually do is while I'm washing my hands is I will use the soap and wash the handles too. So that way, when I'm done, the handles are cleaned. So those are just tips. Same thing with going in and out of the bathroom. The doorknobs. When you're in public places, you don't know who's washed their hands and who hasn't washed their hands. So it's always good.
Always use a towel to open that door.
Yep, you got it.
Always.
Yep. Does anybody have any other questions? Otherwise, I think I'm going to...
Anybody in the chat have any questions?
But it's a great time, to do all the things that you haven't had the time to do. And if you have a backyard, you can always get fresh air. Or go for a walk if you're in a neighborhood that doesn't have a lot of people. You can still get out, get fresh air.
Well, on that note, the governor I think he's the governor of New York, was even saying, they lifted the fees for all their state parks and stuff like that. He flat out told them today, load your kids up, go out to the parks, go check the parks out, just maintain your distances.
Yeah, I wouldn't have play sets though.
No, I think he's talking about more like, out in the woods and stuff like that. Actually, not like a playground, but
I was at the beach here yesterday. And there were few enough people that everybody was spread far enough apart. And because I have MS, I just had a mask with me for times people walked past, just with the breeze blowing, somebody sneezes. But other than that.
So Diana said, take an empty soap bottle, put bits of bar soap in with water, shake, and then you will have liquid soap.
I don't know how concentrated it would be, but.
Somebody said, does smoking mean you have compromised immune system?
Does smoking?
Yeah.
Not necessarily. Not unless you've got lung disease. People who are diabetic need to be very careful. People who have heart disease and high blood pressure also need to be careful. So I'm not talking about anxiety and fear, but you just need to be more careful. And those are the groups that want to stay home if they're able to.
So you mentioned a sneeze. Do you realize how far a sneeze can actually travel? We
Yeah.
actually looked it up the other night. I don't know if you were on the video or not.
No, but it's a lot further than 3 feet.
Dutchman, how
Yeah.
far is it?
200 feet. It can hang in the air and travel.
One sneeze can travel 200 feet.
Yeah. So, but yeah, if there are places that you can go in nature where there aren't people, So just like the way, and I just went through leukemia too. So the way I've gotten through things like that is just trying to find the good in everything. And I know some people kind of hate hearing that. But I found with myself is that it really changed my mindset. And I tend to have a little bit of a competitive nature. So I found that the more I did it, then it's kind of like, well, I wanted to find more and more. And sometimes when you're really sick or you're really miserable, it's okay to like look at the basics, like I'm grateful I have my family, I'm grateful I have food. And even if you can't find the good in something, what I found sometimes is then you have to create it. And I said, even if somebody hands you a pile of shit, you can still do a lot of things with that. Mushrooms grow well in it. It's great fertilizer, so I think I would just want to really encourage people to use this time to do the things that they've never had the time to be able to do. And, we are going to all get through it. So
Brian said
anyway,
that four Brooklyn Nets basketball players just tested positive.
Yeah. Yeah, I would not do contact sports. Passing around the same sweaty ball. Speaking of sweaty balls, that would be a good one to
wait, hold on.
Sit on.
But think about it. The bull riders are pretty much the only sport that are still going. Now they're doing it without the crowds, but they're still going. And why is that? It's because they're around these animals that are dirty, so their immune system is built up, so that
Well, it's not person to person contact.
True.
Yeah.
So, except for the men that are in the stall in the slot initially. So, but anyway. Okay, everybody, take care. Jeremiah, I'll send you a direct message so that way if you have any questions. And I'm a Dutchie myself too.
Oh boy.
So
what do you mean Dutchie?
Born and raised in central Pennsylvania in Lebanon.
No, you weren't born Amish, were you?
I actually have some family members that still are. Yeah.
Were you ever Amish?
No, it's actually my parents. I have one parent who's Jewish, and then the other one who's a Dutchie. We came over as Anabaptists. Mm-hmm. Which other people won't know this, but it's similar to Mennonite, like between Mennonite and Amish. And have you been to Roots's?
To where?
Roots in Lancaster or Green Dragon, the farmer's market.
I probably have, just never knew the name of it.
Well, anyway, we were at Roots, and which I didn't find out till I was an adult is actually spelled Roots. But that's where, where the accent comes out.
Right, yeah.
where our roots is. And this Amish gentleman started speaking to my dad in Pennsylvania Dutch. And my dad started replying in Yiddish, and they're close enough that they could understand each other.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, okay, what's going on? And they were done. We walked away, and I said to my dad, I'm like, who was that? He's like, oh, it's one of your grandfather's cousins.
Oh, wow. Now, do you know where the Amish and Mennonite guys? Do you know the name of the people that started the Amish Mennonites?
Well, it's from the name of the people.
Yep. So
well, they were all.
Menno Simmons is the one who started the Mennonites. Jacob.
Okay.
Jacob Amon is who started the Amish. They both of them used to be Mennonite, and then Jacob wanted to go backwards, wanted to be more strict, so he decided to create the Amish.
And my family were Dunkards.
Dunkards.
Yeah.
See,
but they're all Anabaptists.
Here's the thing. Sharon Watson just said, thanks for pronouncing Lancaster correctly. Okay. Now, I don't know how you do it. I don't know how other people do it, but this is the way the Amish Mennonite people keep separated. There's a Lancaster, Ohio, and there's a Lancaster, PA. That's how we know the difference. That's how we keep it separated.
Yep.
And Lancaster, California.
And they're spelled the exact same way.
Well, that's how you know who's local and who's not.
Exactly. It's Lancaster, PA, and Lancaster, Ohio.
And the same thing, it's not Lebanon, bologna, it's Lebanon, bologna.
Oh, shit. Sorry for hitting that, Mike. But
are you kidding? Our big field trip at elementary school was to the bologna factory.
See, this is what cracks me up. This is what cracks me up. They say Lebanon Levi. It's not Lebanon Levi.
Well, and first of all, he's not from Lebanon. He's not even from Lebanon, and he's not Amish. He's a fireman.
He used to be Amish.
Yeah, but he's a fireman.
I know every single one on. I know every single one on that show. Every single one.
Okay, so then you know. Yeah.
Merlin grew up 3 miles from my home place. Trust me, I've known Merlin for years and years. I could say so much. We have the same production company. It's like.
Yeah, so that's where I grew up, and I'm like, please, there's no Amish mafia, and he's not from Lebanon.
So Kate Stoltz from our show, she's from up there. She's from up there, correct? I've got memory issues, but the girl who's Mennonite was from Lancaster. But I'm not sure where Kate's from. I believe Kate's from up there.
Not from Lebanon.
Yeah.
Not from Lebanon.
Yep, Kate. The one that's now living in I believe that's where she's from, and she had us all convinced that her dad's a bishop, but he's not. He's not a bishop, but he's a preacher, but he's not a bishop. I mean,
but everybody knows each other, and
I believe she's from up there. And if Rebecca's still in the chat, I don't know if she's still in the chat or not, but she can correct me if I'm wrong. But I believe that's where she always told us that she's from.
Okay. Well.
Nope, she's not in the chat.
Oh, she's not?
Nope. I tried to tag her when it let me.
Oh.
Clash I don't know.
That's some good tasting lips and ass right there. The Amish make the best tasting bologna.
Say what now about?
Jeremiah, the next time you're back in Florida, I can do some cooking for you.
Oh boy, what kind of cooking?
I can do Jewish cooking, or I can do Pennsylvania Dutch.
Oh, trust me, I can do the Pennsylvania Dutch cooking. I can do the Amish cooking.
Well, maybe I can do some good Jewish cooking for you.
And my wife can do, my wife can do some good Mexican cooking.
Oh, we could have one hell of a dinner.
What's going on, Sixth Estate?
Okay.
But yeah, I'm going to end this as well. If nobody has any more questions for you,
I'm out of here, and I'll send you a message when I get off.
Okay.
Okay. Sounds nice good. Talking to y'all. Stay healthy.
Have a good one.
Stay safe. Okay. Bye.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So,
all right, we'll see you, buddy.
Dutch, do you have anything else you want to add before I end this?
Yep, I think we covered a lot.
Okay,
So,
perfect.
until
So-
next time.
Yeah, stay safe out there. And for anybody else in the chat that's been watching this, or who is going to watch this afterwards, just make sure you just keep your hands clean, stay safe, and you'll be good to go. So, like always, stay positive, keep looking forward, because that's the only way to go. Until next time, peace.